Hi everybody, Keren here from tuppencecoloured.co.uk and thank you very much for joining me today. This is what I have been making today. It's a little pop-up card in a box. Stay with me, I'll show you how I made it. This is a piece of soft suede. It's 10.5 inches by 5. And I'm going to begin by scoring at 3.5 inches and then again at 5 inches and then again at 8.5 inches. Is that right? Yes, 1, 2, 3, yeah, 8.5. Doubting myself there for a moment. And then finally at 10 inches. And I'm going to turn the card around and I'm going to score at 3.5 inches, but I'm only going to go down as far as that fold at the bottom there. That fold, that score line. Okay, and now I'm going to score the lines that are on the short side. I'm not going to score that one just for a moment. I will come back to that one. When I say score, I meant burnish. So now, next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to trim down as far as that score line. And on this last piece, I'm going to cut that little skinny bit away. I'm just going to just trim off those edges just to reduce a bit of bulk. And now I'm going to score over those last pieces. Alright, so this is what I've got going on. Cut three pieces of my designer series paper. This one is 3.5 inches by 1.25. Start again. I've got 3 pieces of designer series paper. I cut this one to be 3.25 inches by 1.25. This one's 3.25 inches square, and this one is the same size as that one. And I've lined them up. Cut them from one piece of paper, cut it 3.25 inches first and then trimmed it down. And I'm lining them up in the direction that I want them to go. And now I'm going to apply them, put them onto my soft suede card. And these little folding box cards, I mean, they really are some of my favourite things to make because they are a lovely little pop-up 3D when you open them, but they fold flat, which is pretty good, I think. Okay. So I have one more piece of the same designer series paper. The same size as that piece, 3.25 inches square, but this time I'm going to glue it down so that the other side of the paper is showing. I've cut a strip of this piece from my DSP by being careful about how I placed my my trimmer, and it's a little bit less than 1.25 inches, but that doesn't matter because I want just that pattern on the flap over bit of my box. So I've cut one piece that is 3 1/4 inches long. And that's going to be on my front, so I'm just going to centre that there. And I've got 2 pieces that are 1 1/4 inch, and I'm just making sure that I've got the right pieces lining up, because I want the pattern to sort of follow its way around the box. And I love this paper so much. It really is absolutely stunning. And yeah, I can see me buying more than one packet of this. Okay. So now my box is looking like that. So I'm trying to decide, do I put that along the top as well? I'll have a think about that. I have 2 pieces of soft suede that are 4 1/2 inches by about 3/4 inch. Anything more than 1/2 inch will be fine. And where's the other one? It's gone AWOL. There it is. Start again. So I have 2 pieces of soft suede that are 4 1/2 inches by about 3/4 inch. Anything over 1/2 inch will be fine. And I'm just scoring 1/2 inch from either end. And I'm just going to fold those over. I find it easier to insert these pieces before I finish the box, before I stick it together. So I'm going to begin by putting liquid adhesive onto that flap, and I'm just going to line it up just next to that fold and just below that fold over flap. Yep, just below like that. Okay, and I can set that one out of the way. And same thing on this one. And I'm just going to line those pieces up together. I've been busy and I've fussy cut out some of the birds from one of the other sheets in the set of DSP. This one I've put 2 mini dimensionals on his tummy. This one at the moment is just as it was cut, and these 2 I've attached to little acetate stilts. You can see this happens to be a little scrap of window sheet I had left over. Usually for this kind of thing, I use a piece of packaging, clear packaging. I save all my blister packs, and it's attached with a little glue dot. I don't know whether you can see that there, but that's what I used. So now I'm going to arrange these in the box. Now I'm going to close up the box. So I'm going to put my liquid adhesive along those 2 flaps, and I'm going to bring that over. And I'm going to put some more of the liquid adhesive. I could use tape, but since I've got the liquid adhesive in my hand, I'm going to use that, and I'm going to bring that round the back. Now ideally I would have tucked that flap inside, because that way it would have all been hidden and it would have been nice and neat, but I got carried away and I put the backing paper on first and it just didn't look right. So we'll cover that up with a bit of designer series paper. So I cut a panel of DSP from another pattern from that same stack, and I cut it to 3 1/4 inches by 4 3/4, and just stuck it down on the back to cover up that join. So that gives you somewhere now that you could write a greeting if you wanted to. And I had a piece of mint macaron using this stamp from the Beautiful Day set, Memento Tuxedo Black, and cut it out with one of the stitched rectangles. And as you can see, this was the second attempt. It's a great thing about paper, it's got 2 sides. I'm just applying my liquid adhesive and I'm going to pop that underneath the front panel. Okay, so that when you get the card, it's like that, and then you can just pop that down out of the way to display your card. And there it is. That is my finished card in a box. Hummingbirds always make me think of Pandora's box, because when I heard that story when I was a little girl, I always thought that hope that was released from the box was rather like a hummingbird. So that was my inspiration for today's card in a box, and I hope that you've enjoyed it. And if so, I'd be thrilled skinny if you click that like button and leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought about it. But for now, thank you very much for joining me, and I'll see you again sometime soon. Bye bye.